Hello, buddy. Welcome back to the Tin Man Score channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I'm reacting my third and final Mr. Haunted video for you guys. This was titled 5 True Facebook Horror Stories. So without further ado, I'm going to turn these lights off, move the camera up here for you guys, and let's get this reaction on the road in the bag, shall we? Okay, here we go.
Hey spookers, Mr. Haunted here. Some of you may have noticed that I didn't upload last week, and that's because I got a cold while I was recording, and my voice did not sound good. So if my voice seems a bit off during the end of the video, it's because I'm getting over a cold, and on top of that, I also have allergies. I hope you enjoyed this video, and with that being said, let's begin.
If I had a cold, I wouldn't be uploading anything either, because my voice would be going down low and deep too, and I can't stand that. But anyway, let's get into this video, shall we?
Alright, so this occurred when I was 16, and because of what happened, I will never use social media again. It was getting near the end of the school year, which meant that we would have the summer off in a couple of weeks. It also meant that teachers would let the class have free time and rarely give out assignments. Anyway, I was in class sitting with my friends chatting as our teacher did give us free time. We were pretty much talking about all the things girls in high school would talk about. What we were doing over the summer, college, jobs, a car, and even graduation.
Oh man, I kind of miss them days. Because during the summer, yes, I would be excited to get out for a summer vacation, but also just chill and talk with some of my classmates and not have to do any assignments. But occasionally we would get like a light assignment, but then it's like easy peasy, nothing to it, and we knock it out quick just to have time on our laptops. But yeah, everybody will be discussing where they're going on vacation or what college they're interested in. But anyway, let's just continue on with this person's story and see what happens next.
As one of my friends was talking about how her boss just fired her from her job, I got a notification from Facebook on my phone. A username that I had never seen before sent me a friend request. Let me be as clear as I can. Getting friend requests from unknown users is no big surprise to me. What I would do is if I knew the person, I would accept their request and request to be their friend as well. But if I didn't know who they were, I would just accept the request or decline it. In this case, I didn't know who this person was, so I declined him. Just then, I received another notification on my phone from Facebook. It was the same username, and he sent me a direct message. It read something along the lines of, "Hey, you're really pretty. Would you like to chat?" I responded telling him that I didn't know who he was and apologized. Keep in mind, this guy looked to be about 40 and I was 18 at the time, so this was starting to become very creepy.
Yeah, it sounds creepy already. If he's 40 and you're 18 and still in high school, you shouldn't be talking with him at all. If I got a person that sent me a friend request on Facebook and I don't know him personally, I'll do like she did. Just ignore it and remove it from my notifications. But if it's somebody I do know, then I'll accept it. But yeah, that's kind of weird that he would start texting back to her and say, "Hey, you're pretty. Can we just chat?" Red flag number one right there.
My friends eventually wanted to see what I was up to, and so I showed them the chat. Two of my friends really didn't care, and the others said to just block him. I felt like blocking him wouldn't be the right thing to do at the time, so I just left it alone. When I got home, I received another notification on my phone from the same guy. He said that we will get to know each other and that we would start a, quote, romantic relationship. I was beyond creeped out at this point, and so I blocked him and thought it was over. I'd say not even 10 minutes later, I received another message from Facebook, but with a different username. It read, "Why did you block me? I want to get to know you." I told him to leave me alone, and that he was way too older than me, and that if he didn't stop, that I would call the police and report him. He then started using profanity and making threats, and that he was going to find me and kill me. I blocked him once again and called the cops, but of course they couldn't do anything since he really didn't commit a crime. I find that BS, but whatever. His account was also taken down, and even if the police could track him, I couldn't remember his username. About a week or so went by, and I was starting to forget about what happened. I just wanted to graduate high school and be done. But a few days later, I was home alone in my room on my computer when I heard my dogs barking at something. I went to go see what they were barking at. They were barking at something outside of the sliding glass door, but I couldn't see anything since it was dark out there. I looked a bit harder, and I could see someone standing in our yard, looking straight at me. He then took off running, and I never saw him again. I have no idea if whoever that was the person on Facebook, but I believe that it might have been.
I would think so too, because he did say that he was going to find you and kill you. But luckily you had dogs that were barking at him, and he didn't want to go through the whole plan of breaking in the house and committing the act. He was probably afraid of getting bit by them dogs. But yeah, I'll call BS too if the cops said they can't really do nothing. Because if it's like Facebook, you never know if the person's either in the same city as you are, or they are just out of town people that are just heckling you, you know? That's creepy. I hope they're able to find that guy to probably press harassment charges on him. But since he deleted his account, it's going to be difficult. All right, let's get to story number 2, shall we?
My name is Jonathan, and I was 16 years old when this happened. I had just gotten off from work and was driving home. I had worked for about 6 hours, so I was just looking forward to getting some sleep. When I got home, I received a notification from someone on Facebook. In my mind, I was going, "Ugh, no, not now." I was kind of annoyed and just wanted to get to bed, but I looked at my phone and someone had messaged me on Facebook. I looked at their account, and it was a girl who apparently attended the same university as me and was very attractive as well. We'll call her Alyssa. Alyssa had messaged me saying that she thought I seemed cool and that she wanted to chat with me. I typed back that I would love to chat, and even though I was tired, I still chatted for about an hour. We talked about school, work, and life. It turns out that she just so happened to live an hour away from me and then asked me if I would want to meet up at the park. I stupidly agreed. We planned to meet at the park around 2 p.m. So the next day rolls around and I was getting ready an hour earlier as the park we were meeting at was a bit far. So I got ready and hopped on my bike and rode it to the park.
If a cute girl wants to talk with you, I wouldn't see no harm in it either. But then you try to talk to them and they say you want to meet up somewhere since they're close by. That'd be awesome too. But I got a feeling that she's probably pulling his chain and setting him up. I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. So let's just see what happens next.
When I got there, I noticed a suspicious looking black car parked a few feet away from where I was. The windows were tinted, and I mean really tinted. I ignored it and messaged Alyssa and asked if she was here while sitting on my bike. She responded saying, "Yes, I'm right behind you." I turned around to see 2 men with masks running directly towards me. I cussed to myself and got on my bike and got out of there fast. I was sure that car was going to follow me, but it thankfully didn't. I made it home safely and I deleted my Facebook account. I hope I never see Alyssa again.
See, what did I tell you? Instead of one guy, it was 2 running towards him with masks on. They're probably going to either rob him or kidnap him. Golly, I knew it. It was too good to be true. Either that girl Alyssa was in on it the whole time, or she don't even exist. Those guys created that profile with some random girl's photo on it just to lure him in. If you go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, look to make sure to see if they got any friends or where they live at, because if they're like from a different state and they don't have no mutual friends with your friends, then I wouldn't even contact them at all. Just ignore them. And but that is really creepy. I'm glad that he did the right thing and just got back on his bike and took off.
I was in middle school at the time, and I've spent a lot, and I mean a lot of time on the internet. Whether it would be on YouTube, social media, or any other website, I would mostly stick to the internet. One day, I was home checking through Facebook to see if I got any notifications. And I did. I had about 6 new notifications from some random user that had liked all my posts, commented on them, and they even direct messaged me. I'm not really sure whether it was a man or a woman, as their profile picture was that anonymous figure, but the username seemed that whoever this was a man. We'll call him Steve. Steve had liked all my posts, and his direct message to me was something along the lines of, "Hey, you're really pretty. Would you want to hang out sometime?" My Facebook was public, so I knew that's how he knew what I looked like. Me, being nice, responded back to Steve, telling him that I would chat for a bit. He asked me for my age, and I didn't feel comfortable telling him my real age, so I lied and said that I was 17 when I was really 14. It seemed he had bought it, and he told me his age. He said he was 33. I was not expecting that, and immediately told him that it was inappropriate for me to be talking to a 33-year-old. Steve then typed, "Who cares? Age is just a number."
She cares, dude, because if she's 14, he can go to jail for talking to a minor because she's not technically an adult yet. After that, I wouldn't be talking with him no more. I'd be like, report him and forget about him.
I told him that I didn't want to talk to him anymore and that he should leave me alone. He immediately started saying that he would find me and take me with him and that he would treat me like a queen and that we would spend the rest of our lives together. He then started sending me pictures and videos of people getting hurt and that if I didn't go with him that he was going to hurt himself and that there was nothing anyone can do about it. I told him that he needs to stop and that I was going to block him. Expectedly, he continued and I then blocked him. I then decided I didn't want anything to do with Facebook anymore and then I deleted my account. I didn't bother reporting his account as Facebook didn't really take these things seriously. After that, I stayed away from the internet for a while.
If he said he was going to threaten to hurt himself if she didn't go with him, that clearly tells you that he needs to get mental help quick. But then if you tell her that he was going to find her and kidnap her, basically, then yeah, he's lost his marbles for sure. But I would still report it to the cops and see if they can track down where that guy is living at and see if they can arrest him for talking with a minor. That's one charge. Saying that he was going to find her and kidnap her, that's another charge right there. But that is really scary. If you find people popping up on your Messenger or Facebook and they tell you how old they are and they act sort of strange later, don't continue talking to them. Just block them or report them to the cops. And then you don't have to deal with it no more.
This story is told from the perspective of a female. This incident happened to both me and my friend. I was in class in school talking with my friend. We'll call her Maria. Maria and I were talking about a homework assignment for our other class. She had told me that she had the answers for the assignment, and so I asked if I could have her number. She said that she wasn't allowed to give her phone number out to people as her parents were overprotective of her, but that she would give me her Facebook so we can communicate that way. I accepted, and we got each other's accounts. When I got home, I waited about maybe an hour before I messaged Maria about the homework. When I messaged her, I almost immediately got a response from her saying, "Who is this?" I told her that it was her friend from class and that if I could have the answers for the homework assignment. She then typed something very unexpected. She typed, "Oh yeah, you could just come over to my house and I could give it to you." She then put in her address. Something didn't feel right to me. I ignored her for now and decided to wait until the next day to talk to her. The next day came around and I told Maria that I was sorry I couldn't come to her house. She had this confused look on her face, as if she didn't know what I was talking about. I showed her the conversation and she told me that she had lost her phone while walking home from school and that she was going to get a new one soon. That meant that whoever I was talking to was not Maria.
You know, I was just wondering that if you got her Facebook and she tells you that she was going to give you like some help with the homework assignment on there, then why would she say come to the house and meet her there for the answers for the homework? I mean, that's just like a ring around the rosy type of situation. But I'm glad she talked to her about it the next day. But if she lost her phone, the person who has a phone now can access her Facebook. She needs to hurry up and get a new phone and try to deactivate the old one when she activates the new one. But if that guy told her friend the address to meet up at, then she could just automatically report that to the cops and be like, get her phone back quick and arrest that guy for taking it. Because it seemed like he was a thug planning on luring somebody into kidnap, probably. You never know.
Social media can be dangerous. All it takes is for one person to claim that there's someone else when they're not to completely ruin your life. I say that because it's true, and my life was ruined. Well, almost. Let me explain. It was the summer of 2016, and my girlfriend had moved to Florida and had to stay behind in California. It was very sad to see her go, and we've been together for a few years, so you know the kind of pain I feel. Anyway, when she moved, I kind of just was being myself. I went to school, and I rarely talked to friends and stuck to the internet for most of the time. I eventually met this girl on Facebook that was really pretty. We'll call her Jessica. Jessica was very friendly. I mean, we started chatting every day and we both enjoyed talking to each other. It turns out she lived in the same state as I did and only 1 hour away. I knew that had to be pure luck. She asked to meet me and said I should go over to her house next Friday and that her parents were okay with it. I asked my parents about Jessica and going over to her house. They seemed okay with it, and when Friday came around, I got ready to drive over to her house. I arrived at the house around 8 o'clock. Red flags started going up when I realized that her house was the only house in the neighborhood with no lights on. It was actually kind of creepy, but I brushed it off thinking that her family didn't want to use a lot of electricity. I texted Jessica that I was in her driveway. There was no response. I got out of the car and made my way over to the front door. There was no doorbell, so I knocked. I then heard a man's voice from the other side of the door saying, "Hey, are you here to see Jessica?" I said yes. He then said, "Okay, just come around back. She's sitting in one of the chairs." Alarms start going off in my head, and something told me to go back to my car and drive away, but I stupidly ignored it. I slowly peeked around the corner to the backyard, and what I saw there almost made me scream. Sitting down in a chair was a man in a skull mask. The thing that was most horrifying was that he was holding a semi-automatic weapon. By some miracle, he didn't see me. I ran back to my car and drove all the way home and deleted my Facebook account. No more social media for me. I called the police, but I don't know what they did. If you're going to use social media, I highly recommend you be careful, because you do not know what will happen when you meet someone who claims to be someone else when they're not. I still wonder what would have happened if I turned and he saw me. I still don't know what his intentions were, but if he had a gun in his hands, chances are they weren't good.
Man, that's creepy. It was a whole death trap situation. Basically, if you walk back there, and then see that guy with the skull mask and the semi-automatic gun, he would have shot you down and took the keys to your car and other belongings, and both him and the guy inside the house would have took it off. But if you saw somebody with a handgun or wearing a mask, you would be bolting too. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more Mr. Haunted content like this. This has been another successful installment of the Tin Man's Quarter channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and I said that's a wrap, and have a nice day, y'all.